Let's begin. The fifth topic is document carefully. You guys can all hear me, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you. There's Alice. You never know when documentation will be handy. Clear documentation of one's rationale and approach is responding to mentorship dysfunction. I'm sorry. Mentorship dysfunction is the best defense against vindictive prodigy behavior or inaccurate accusation, saves a lot of griefs and misunderstanding. When mentorship cannot be salvaged, either impossible or likely to result in additional negative outcomes, either party may terminate the relationship. A well-documented mentorship makes positive mentoring tasks more effective and efficient. How a clear documentation should look. It should include evidence of reflection about the problem, efforts to address the conflict and restore the relationship, any collegial consultations, thoughts about ethical duties and professional requirements, overarching evidence of concern for the prodigy's best interest, brief but clear documentation of mentorship formation, early discussion of relationship, expectations and periodic assessments of the mentorship's benefits and outcomes signal to both the prodigy and external observers that the mentor is thoughtful and intentional about the mentoring enterprise. Careful documentation should also include, I am putting here careful because this is more the downside of the documentation process. Faulty communications, neglect of a prodigy, unresolved disagreement, perceived disloyalty, violations of professional boundaries, and some measures of pathology or character disturbance on the part of either the mentor or the prodigy. It is important to note that documentation should not only be seen as an emergency tool for responding defensively to the prodigy's complaint. What it means is you can use documentation also to prize the prodigy. Say, for example, you're giving him a report, a progress report where you want to mention how good he is. That's what the documentation is going to be useful as well. The key components. Document your mentorship carefully as a way of ensuring good practice and protecting yourself and your prodigies from subsequent misrepresentation and of the relationship. Practice terse record keeping of prodigy goals, expectations, achievements, and concerns. Record instances of conflict or negative interactions, as well as clear, rational, and description of your response. Document consultations and effort to provide corrective feedback and restore the relationship. You just want to keep writing down everything in the mentorship because of simple things like you will just forget what you did. You will just forget what you told the prodigy, but you always want to have on hand and remember what you did. And to be honest, I am that writing down person. I have my calendar here and I usually mark down what we did today, what I told them to do for tomorrow and things like that. It will just help you. It will just help you when there will be a conflict or something, always have your notes to look back. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay.
Can I just get the very first slide, please?
The very first slide?
Yeah.
This one?
Very like the topic. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, what I want you to do is, since everybody is here today, I'm going to put you into groups. One of you will be the mentor, one of you will be the prodigy. You will have something to argue about. The scenario is your wish. I want you to write down, to document everything, and then you will share on screen what you documented. Okay? It's up to you what you think you have to write down, what not, but let's see how you figure that out. Go to the next. Does anybody have any questions on this topic? No?
No, I'm good.
Okay. The exercise, with this exercise, I just wanted to show you guys that not only documenting about the assignment, you guys also need to document about their characteristics, how they sound, where they rude, where they stressed about it, anxiety, whatever you can see, whatever you can tell, these are things what have to be documented too. Okay. Let's go to the next slides. Dispute your irrational thinking. When things go wrong, if disturbed, ask yourself these questions. How am I making myself disturbed? How is my disturbance? I don't know if it's loud. It's like raining so bad. I'm sorry. How is my disturbance interfering with the relationship? How can I get beyond the disturbance? Irrational beliefs are rigid or mostly unconscious. Demands about self, the prodigy, or the relationship. Strong irrational beliefs lead to emotional upset, such as anger, anxiety, and depression. They make matters with prodigy much worse. Irrational demands lead to additional irrational thinking, such as harsh evaluations, such as my prodigy is absolutely worthless and should suffer for causing me so much extra work. Or they can lead to catastrophic thinking, like this is absolutely awful. And poor frustration tolerance could be, I can't stand this. Okay? You want to avoid things like that. You want to, and this can happen very unconsciously, unaware. You might think such as you could be already stressed that day. You could be already having so much, and then the mentee comes and annoys you with something. And when you get annoyed, this is usually the way how you think, oh, why does this happen? Does this have to happen right now? Why is this guy annoying me? Right? These thoughts, you have to work on that. You just have to try to avoid it. So examples of irrational beliefs could be, I must be successful with all my prodigies all of the time. I have to be greatly respected and loved by all my prodigies. Because I have invested so much as a mentor, my prodigy should be equally ambitious and always eager to do exactly what I recommend. I must reap tremendous benefits from mentoring and should enjoy mentoring all the time. My prodigies must never leave or disappoint me. Does anybody have any questions? What do you think about these thoughts? These thoughts are thoughts which are positive thoughts, yes, but too much of these thoughts could lead to failure. You want to be careful. Okay? We had in other things, we had in other modules saying that overworking is not good. It will lead you to a burnout. Same as that. Being too ambitious can also lead to a burnout. So how do you cope with it? Mentors' coping strategies. Acknowledge disturbance and upset while searching for one's contributing irrational demands and evaluations. Actively dispute or challenge mentor-related irrational beliefs in front of one's prodigy. Like, you know, when you neglected to turn to in that report as promised. I really got myself enraged at first. Then I realized I was crazily demanding that you be perfect. Now I'm just a bit annoyed and wondering how I can help you get the report wrapped up. Does that make sense? Speaking openly up to the prodigy can help. It can ease the situation. Refuse to tell yourself that anything a prodigy does or fails to do is awful. Carefully separate human worth, your own and the prodigy's, from performance. Frequently and humorously find opportunities to display your own fallibility, thus providing a good model of human imperfection for the prodigy. This is how you cope with it. This is actually something that you guys should screenshot because it will help you all the way on your path of your career. The key components. Recognize your irrational demands of prodigies and evaluations of events. Be alert to signs that you are harshly evaluating, exaggerating, or failing to tolerate frustration. Actively dispute dysfunctional beliefs about prodigies, yourself as a mentor, and the ideal mentorship. Disclose irrational thinking to prodigies, laugh at yourself, and show prodigies how you correct your own self-defeating thinking. Do you guys have any questions? No? Fran, no questions?
No.
I honestly like that you ask so many questions, so I asked in a good way. It shows me that you are listening. Let's
So
go
it
to the
shows
next.
that you are all preoccupied.
Thank you.
Pardon me?
It's Fahana secure or preoccupied.
Yes, so true. It's just in the classroom we would all see each other. Here I'm not really seeing anyone, so I don't know. So the only way I can get to you is keep asking questions. Let's go to the next topic. Welcome change and growth. All relationships evolve and change. Mentorships are developmental relationships focused on the transition of prodigy from neophyte to full members of a profession. Change is a requisite of healthy mentoring. There's tremendous variation in the rate of trajectory of change. Some prodigies race to test their skills as independent professionals, while others are timid and reluctant. Some mentors are better facilitators of change than others. Pain is particularly noticeable when the prodigy begins the process of separating from the mentor. They may experience turmoil, anxiety, loss, and general disruption. The common phases of mentorship development. Mentors should become familiar with these phases and understand the unique needs of prodigies in each phase, and acknowledge and welcome transition to a new phase. The first stage would be initiation. I'm sorry, I can't read it. Is marked by excitement and possibility and beginning. The prodigy often feels anxious, overwhelmed, and quite dependent in the mentor. The second stage would be cultivation. Typically begins after several months and is the most productive phase, which mostly lasts at least a year or two. Depends on the mentorship relationship. Prodigies demonstrate increasing competence and confidence. The third stage would be separation. The mentorship is characterized by leave-taking and distancing. May be difficult time emotionally as both parties must accept loss and arrange to say goodbye to the intensive phase of the relationship. Are there any questions about this slide? Understood. Excellent mentors work through these feelings intentionally, endorse the prodigy status as colleague, and reinforce the prodigy's sense of autonomy. Take the lead in occasionally discussing the status of the mentorship. Important questions to ask are as follows. How far has the prodigy come? And where is he or she going? Are there noticeable changes in the nature of the relationship, the prodigy's competence, and the mentor's view of the prodigy as professionals? Celebrate growth and change with the prodigy, even when change brings loss. Understand that celebration is a memorable marker of transition. Okay. And always, 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 you can always stay in contact with your prodigy, even after the mentorship relationship, the actual mentorship relationship. You can, if you guys want to, you can meet them here and then, if it's once every 3 months or whatever, just to get a feedback, just to hear what they are doing, how life changes. So ending the mentorship relationship doesn't mean that you are ending the whole relationship. The key components. Accept the fact that good mentoring will ensure growth in your prodigy and change in your relationship. Recognize that development and independence in prodigies require you to tolerate some sadness and make adjustments. Understand the common phases of mentorship development and how your prodigy might need different things from you at each time. Narrate, welcome, and even highlight evidence of prodigy independence. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, you said that you can keep a relationship after the mentorship has ended.
Yeah.
Won't that be, won't you have power over them in a way because you were able to know them in a certain area in their lives that
Yeah.
no one else might not know? And then now you are do you mean like not being like friends, but then just like keeping communication on the basis of still being their mentor?
Yeah, it is complicated. So after the mentorship relationship, the relationship after, it's obviously not a something else relationship. It's going to be, you can consider it as a friendship if you want to. You can consider it as something else. I don't know, but it's just like the mentor mostly wants to hear feedback, how you're doing. Okay, there should be, it should be a kind of a friendship relationship where the mentee can always go back to the mentor and tell him, here, this is how my life looks like. Something like that. If you see an old teacher of yours, what do? Walk away?
So it's not a friendship, it's just more of like,
It's the
how are
way,
you doing type of thing, right?
yes, it's the way how you take it. It can be a friendship. There's nothing wrong with having a friendship with the mentor.
Okay.
As long as you are not in the professional mentorship anymore, there's nothing wrong with it. But even if it's not a friendship relationship, hearing feedbacks here and then, hearing what they are doing in their life right now, letting the mentor know what they are doing, what they end up doing, is always a nice thing. Is that understood?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions? It's always nice to see somebody who you teached and getting feedback that they are doing good in life. It's always nice to hear that. Right? And after the mentorship relationship, even if you might have asked, if you might need something work related or something, you can always, if you have that strong relationship with the mentor, even after mentorship, I think there's nothing wrong with asking him a question. What do you think? What do you think about if I would do this, if I would do that? Like seeking an idea, you know? It's like talking to a friend.
How about intimate relationships after the relationship?
It is allowed after the mentorship. If he's not officially your mentor anymore, it is allowed, but that is up to you. Like, he is not officially your mentor anymore, right?
Okay.
So it is up to you how you guys work with it. Things happen, you know. Okay, does anybody else have any more questions? No? Okay, then we will end it today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.